Jazzcast Pros.
Have you ever noticed what your skin is telling your brain at night? How you feel lives in the details. The way your pajamas rest on your shoulders, how your pillow meets the curve of your neck, the gentle weight that helps your body exhale, or the subtle tension that keeps it guarded. Touch is a language your body understands instantly. When it says comfort, your body releases. When it says discomfort, your brain stays awake. And if you're just joining us, this episode is part of a series on sleep by the senses. So for tonight, we are letting touch take the lead, starting with what you feel right now. Welcome to the Doze Podcast. I'm your host, Soda Kuczkowski. I'm a sleep health educator, a certified sleep coach, and founder of Start With Sleep and the Doze. And with 2 decades in sleep medicine, sleep health, and coaching, I can tell you this with zero hesitation. Sleep improves when your environment supports your biology. Last week, if you joined us, temperature had the first spotlight, but today we're going to be moving our conversation onto touch. It's a different sense, but the same mission, aligning your space with the way your body actually sleeps. Our skin is covered in touch sensors that constantly ask one simple question: am I safe enough to let go? Comfort contact answers yes. But when there's scratchy seams, awkward angles, and pressure points, the answer is no. The calming branch of your nervous system steps forward when touch feels steady and kind. Your heart rate eases, your muscles loosen, your breath slows, and you're open to sleep. But something to know is that your brain listens to what your body feels long before it listens to what you tell it to do. If touch leads the body, let us follow what it's saying. Your brain uses touch as a safety check. Comfortable pressure and pleasant texture says you're safe, release. Irritation, pain, or strain says, hold on, let's stay alert. Touch and pressure influence 3 things that shape your sleep at night: how quickly you settle, how deeply you sleep, and how much you toss and turn. So what in your sleep setup is sending the wrong touch signals? I want you to think of your bed as a map of sensations. Every surface sends a signal. Your body has a constant conversation with your bed. The mattress, the sheets, the air against your skin, they all speak a language of contact. And when the message says support, glide, and ease, your nervous system exhale begins. And when it says pressure, friction, or restriction, your body stays half awake, scanning for safety. Every night, you're in that dialogue. The key is learning to listen and then adjust to what your body is saying no to. So how do we turn this new awareness into some practical, real things that you can start doing tonight? Well, I've put together a touch audit for you. The thing to pay attention to is that every layer between you and your mattress sends a message. Some people relax into crisp cotton, others melt into soft bamboo or jersey. But if you wake up with red marks or lines on your skin or itchy spots, your texture is working against you, not for you. So the first thing we want to look at is what you're wearing, your pajamas. You want to choose breathable, soft fabric, and you want to watch for any tight waistbands, seams at the shoulders, or tags at the neck. You know, if you wake up, again, with those lines on your skin, the fit or fabric is probably wrong for you. You always want to think about what we wear at night to be loose-fitting clothing. The next is our sheets and our covers. You want smooth enough to glide, weighty enough to feel secure. And if you run hot, you want to maybe think about splitting the top covers by the person that you're sleeping next to if you have someone by your side, so each of you gets your preferred weight. Next is your pillow. You want to make sure that the height keeps your neck in a neutral position and that your face and your ear are not feeling heated up or feeling any type of pressure. And if you flip the pillow often, that means that it's probably not working for you. The next is mattress surface. You want to make sure that you cushion at the bony points with support under the spine. A topper can fix surface feel when a new mattress is not necessarily in your budget or in your plan, so that is an easy fix. Add-ons that can also help are things like body pillows for an anchor, maybe a thin knee pillow for alignment, or a small lumbar pillow for if you tend to be a back sleeper. And then last is your laundry choices. You know, strong fragrance or leftover residue can irritate your skin, so keep it simple if you're sensitive. I know for me personally, I always use scent-free and sensitive type products. Touch is not only about softness, it's also about shape. And comfort is often a geometry problem. Pain is a wake signal. You want to reduce pressure points and keep your spine neutral. If you tend to be a side sleeper, you want to fill the space between your shoulder and your ear with the right pillow height. You want to add a pillow between your knees so your hips stay level and you don't twist. If you tend to be a back sleeper, you might want to look at using a lower pillow that supports the curve of your neck or a small pillow under your knees to ease the low back. And if you're a stomach sleeper and not ready to change positions, you want to use the thinnest pillow you can tolerate and a small pillow under one hip to reduce twisting. So these small shifts and angles remove a constant stream of discomfort messages, and fewer messages mean fewer wake-ups. But I know you're probably asking at this point, Soda, what about the weight trend everybody's talking about, right? What about weighted blankets? Weight can be calming for some, but it might be too much for others. Even pressure can help many bodies settle, but it's not universal. Again, if you're doing this, you want to start with a breathable, slightly heavier top layer before buying into anything new. If you tend to run hot or if you have breathing concerns, of course, you want to go lighter and you want to prioritize alignment first. The goal is to be calm, not pinned. So you should be able to move with ease. And as I touched on, sharing a bed adds touch variables that you can control. Things like partners, pets, personal space. Connection does matter, but so does comfort. You want to, again, maybe consider separate top covers so each person gets their preferred texture and weight. If the space allows, and if you can afford it, I know that's my next goal, is to size up the mattress, right? Elbow room is nervous system room. And last, if you sleep with any furry friends, which we often do, pets raise heat and change contact points. So you want to keep them near to your feet or on their own pad if they sleep on, your core. And the thing to note is that this isn't selfish behavior when it comes to sleep. It's about being strategic. It's about protecting comfort to protect your sleep. So to put this into a simple action plan for you, and I'm going to drop all of this in the show notes from the questions to this 7-day, what you can do tonight, touch and pressure, power move checklist. I want this to be something that you can do, one small change per night with no shopping required. So starting on night 1, perhaps it's today, I want you to look at removing one single irritating thing, whether it's a tag, a seam, a waistband. You have to get aware about this because oftentimes we are engaging in practices or using things that cause us to experience discomfort, right? And we don't think that eliminating them will make a big deal, but it does. So be aware. For the second night, I want you to test your pillow height. Your neck should feel neutral. There should be no pinch. There should be no push. On night 3, I want you to add an anchor, whether that's tucking the top sheet lightly or perhaps incorporating a body pillow. For night 4, I want you to create a glide, so switching pillowcase fabrics or loosen tight sheets at the feet. My husband likes to tend to have them tucked in. I like to have the ability to, put my foot out or put my foot in. So I like to be able to have that flexibility. But again, it's going to be by personal preference. On night 5, we want to align and add smart support. So perhaps this looks like adding a pillow between your knees if you tend to be a side sleeper or under your knees if you tend to be a back sleeper. On night 6, I want you to split the covers if you share a bed. And I want you to take notice, in terms of movement and temperature changes. Oftentimes, we feel discomfort because we're sleeping next to someone who has different preferences that we do. Sometimes, instead of splitting beds, you can just split sheets, right? And on the last night, I want you to journal a simple score. Did you settle quickly? Did you stay asleep? Did you actually wake up feeling restored? I want you to figure out what helped, what worked, and I want you to drop what doesn't. Before we go, I want to drop a few quick clarifiers that I often get. Number 1 is, do softer sheets always help? And my answer is not always. Some skin prefers that crisp cotton. Others prefer, like I said, that silky bamboo of the jersey. You want to choose glide over hype. The next is, do I need a weighted blanket? And while I own one, I don't use it for sleep. I'll actually use it when I'm sitting on the couch or, certain times of the year. And my answer is not if heat or breath is an issue. You want to start with a slightly heavier top layer that breathes versus putting added pressure on you. And most weighted blankets are about 10% of your body weight is what we're looking for. And the last is, why do I wake up with a sore shoulder or hip? And if this is happening to you, it's probably because you likely need more surface cushion or perhaps a better pillow height. Because again, you want to fix geometry before you go spending big dollars on things, right? You have to figure out what type of sleeper you are. Are you a side sleeper, a back sleeper? And then figure out what pillow supports that position. So the takeaway from this episode on sleeping by the senses is that touch leads the brain. Comfortable contact and smart alignment send a safety signal your system trusts. Irritation and strain tell your brain to keep watch. And when you design the feeling of your bed to match the way your body likes to be held, your sleep becomes simpler. Because your sleep space is not just about decor, it's about communication. Every fabric, seam, angle, and ounce of pressure is a cue your nervous system reads in real time. And when you shape those cues on purpose, your body does what it's designed to do: rest deeply and recover. Our senses guide how we move through the world, but when it comes to sleep, they guide how we let go of it. This series is more than just the 5 that you learned about in school, which are touch, sight, sound, smell, and taste. It's also about the hidden senses that run beneath them all: body awareness. The way your body senses temperature, comfort, pressure, and space is what tells your brain it's safe enough to rest. That's why we began with temperature and why tonight we've explored touch. Together, they create the foundation for every other cue your body needs to fully release into sleep. Next, in the Sleep by Senses, we're going to be talking about smell and how the right sense can help your body downshift and the wrong ones keep it wired. I'm going to walk you through easy, repeatable ways to use Aroma without overwhelm. If you're looking for additional resources, you can find us at thedoze.co and startwithsleep.com. And if this episode helped, please do me a favor and share it with someone who needs it. And if you're following along, I would love for you to drop me a note and to help me build what you actually need. Until next week, sleep well.